everybody, and welcome back to my channel. It's good to see you again. It's very nice to be here. Oh, thank you for all the licks, bud. Oh, God. Oh. Look, I like dogs, but I don't like when dogs lick me. I just don't like it. I don't understand why, and I'm not going to try to explain myself. Anyways, as you can tell by the title, I saw the new Lion King, and it was very disappointing, to say the least. I would like to preface this for anybody who just thinks I'm being a fucking asshole. I am one of those people that can rarely find things wrong with movies. Like, I just enjoy movies, and I'm like, I appreciate the effort that went into this, and I think, you know, it's hard to make a bad movie, but the movie was bad, okay? And I might be a little bit biased because, you know, I grew up with the original fucking magical ass cartoon Lion King, and that is my favorite Disney movie. So I kind of might be criticizing it a little harshly, a little biased, but also trying to take myself out of the bias and, you know, just be objective about it. It was kind of a bad movie. And here's fucking why. Yo. Chill. Alright, so they've been doing a lot of, you know, remakes, live action of old movies. The Jungle Book, I think, was done very well, okay? Like, I really enjoyed it. It was different from the original movie enough, and, like, it told its own kind of twist on the story. And I really enjoyed it. It was very, very well done. All the voice actors were chosen perfectly for the roles, and it worked, okay? This one, not so much. One of the reasons why I was most excited, besides it just being The Lion King, was because Childish Gambino was playing the voice of Simba. And I fucking love Donald Glover. Fucking Gambino is a jack of all trades, and he's fucking amazing, and he's one of the greats of our generation. And so I was very, very excited to be able to, like, watch this movie and hear him, like, sing, and Donald Glover was pretty much the saving grace for this movie, because the rest of it was just so fucking, like, awkward. It didn't flow well at all. I obviously don't have the clips of the movie to fucking sit here and react to it, so I saw it, and I was thoroughly disappointed. Thoroughly disappointed. It seemed like they were trying to make it a shot-for-shot remake, but then they changed some things that just didn't make any fucking sense, and the voice actors... Okay, I gotta pick my nose, hold on. Oh my god. They didn't choose good voice actors. The kid who played Simba's voice just... Like, the voice... The way his voice sounded, I think, worked fine for young Simba, okay? But the way that he delivered the lines... it was completely unnatural. Like, everything felt forced. It felt like they were forcing parts of the story, and so, like, it didn't make sense together, and it flowed really awkwardly, and there were just, like, these awkward pauses, and the movie lacked the magic that the original had. And before you sit here and tell me, well, there's nothing magical about a live action fucking movie, and, you know, there's not magic in real life. Motherfucker, do you think animals fucking speak English in real life and burst into song? Like, no. So I'm allowed to say there was no magic in this fucking movie, okay? Because there was no fucking magic in this movie. And it was upsetting. They took out all of Rafiki's Rafiki-ness. Like, he didn't bounce around singing that squash banana, whatever the fuck. And he didn't smash Simba on the head with his stick that had, like, the 3 little fruits on it. Hey, bud, can you not do that? Okay, whatever. So the beginning of the movie, when they went to the elephant graveyard and they met the hyenas, they changed the hyenas so fucking much. I did not fucking like them. So the original names are Shinzi, Banzai, and Ed. Like, those are the 3 names that they're supposed to be, and they kept Shinzi, that was the name. But they made her, like, she was the only one in the movie that had a fucking, like, African accent. and the rest of them had like regular American sounding accents, except for Zazu, who had a British fucking accent. In the original Lion King, they didn't make Shinzi have a fucking accent, and the actor that they chose for her, I don't think the voice fit with the hyena, and also like she was really hard to understand. Like one of the lines that she says to Scar at the end is like, you told the truth about one thing, a hyena's belly is never full. But the only reason that I knew that's what she said is because they said it earlier in the movie in a much more clear way. Otherwise it just sounded like, you did tell the truth about one thing, Scar, a hyena's belly is never full. And I was like, the fuck did she just say? Like, it didn't. And it was like really quiet. I do have a hard time hearing things, but I think there were, bro, chill. But there were times where the lions are like walking and talking to each other, and they're like whispering almost. It is a very quiet, and like I had to lean in to fucking hear, and nobody was talking in the theater, so like I could hear the rest of the movie really well. But like I was struggling to understand what they were saying. But so they would be like walking and whispering to each other, like Nala and Simba when they rediscover each other. They're like walking in the fucking jungle, and they're, you know, talking about the Pride Lands and all this bullshit and what Scar's fucking up. But it's at such a low volume, and then Timon and Pumbaa are like watching from a distance, like a fucking distance. All right, they're watching all this shit go down, but somehow they can perfectly hear what the fuck is being said. And I'm like, there's no way that you would ever hear that. Like, I don't care how good you think an animal's hearing is. Like, that's not gonna fucking work. So those are a couple of my fucking qualms with it. I think the voice actors that they picked that I really fucking liked, the guy that they used for Timon, oh, I can't fucking remember his name, but he was in Parks and Rec at one point, and he's just that hilarious, like, angry gay guy. So they made Timon sound, they made him a little flamboyant, and I fucking loved that. And Seth Rogen was Pumbaa's voice, and his stupid ass laugh fit so well with Pumbaa's character. Like, I was happy with that. I really liked that Donald Glover was adult Simba. I think he did a fantastic job, but also that me being extremely biased, because in my eyes Gambino can do no fucking wrong. Like, I fucking love him, and it worked perfectly. It was amazing. Wasn't a fan of Beyonce as Nala. The singing parts were fine, obviously, because Beyonce is fucking queen of singing or whatever. But I had the same issue with her that I had with, like, well, I mean, I guess she was the one that I used the example of. Like, I didn't like her as Nala's fucking voice. Whenever she delivered her lines, they were super breathy and, like, squeaky, and I didn't fucking like it. They changed a bunch of fucking things that just didn't make any sense, and, like, the way that the lines were being delivered by all of them, it was like there was, like, this awkward pause, and then something would happen that just didn't make sense with the flow of it, but it was like they were clearly, well, to me, it was clear, just trying to do what the original movie did, and, like, just one thing would happen and all of a sudden it leads to this line, but it doesn't really make sense, and everything just felt kind of awkward and forced. Like, I don't know, it just didn't have, like, a natural flow to it like the original one did with all the fucking magic in it, okay? The original Lion King was far fucking, okay, that's too loud with your chewing. Chew on this part, not the rest of it. It just felt forced and just completely unnatural with the delivery of all the lines and the flow of the story. The part where Rafiki has his revelation that Simba is still alive, in the original one, he breaks open this, like, fruit, and he's, like, making this little, like, basically, like, doing voodoo or some shit and, like, figuring out that he's alive. In the remake, they have it where Simba, like, is laying down, and a tuft of his fur fucking comes off and it starts flying through the fucking wind, and then it lands in the water and it starts floating down the stream, and then a dragonfly or something comes and lands on it and then flies away, and the bird swoops down and picks up the hair and takes it and tries to use it for the nest, but then the other bird that was making the nest didn't like the hair, and so after the other bird flew away, he picked up the hair and he threw it out, and then it like it flew and got caught on a tree branch, and a giraffe ate it, and then it became the giraffe, like, hair doesn't digest, so then it cuts to a dung beetle rolling fucking shit through the desert, and you can see the hair in it, so the giraffe shat it out, and then the dung beetle like rolls down a hill with it, and it like breaks apart, and the hair comes loose, and then it like flies away in the wind again, and then it like lands next to some ants that are like carrying leaves to a fucking tree, and this one ant that doesn't have anything real quickly just scoops over and grabs it, and then the ants are going up the tree where Rafiki is, and Rafiki just happens to be staring at the exact spot whenever the ants come up, and he goes and he grabs the hair, and he just looks at the fucking hair, and then he goes, Simba, and he goes and like draws the shit to say that he's alive. Like, they took 3.5 fucking minutes to make that hair fly from Simba all the way to Rafiki, and that's how the fuck he figured out that he was alive, because some random fucking strand of hair. Like, I get the scent and everything, but like, oh my god, they took so much time to draw that scene out, but they couldn't take time on the other scenes to make them flow more natural and not be so fucking awkward and just like forcing it to be something that it's not. The Lion King was fucking fantastic the way that it was, and if they wanted to, just make it a shot for shot fucking remake, but just with, the live action shit, like, that would have been perfectly fine, and I would have accepted that. So a lot of people are upset because, it feels like a cash grab, because they're like, oh, well, I'm tired of people just making remakes of old things and, live actions of old cartoons, because it's just clearly a cash grab. And yeah, it fucking is. But also, they're aiming at the generation that has grown up with The Lion King, who now are old enough to have children and would, they see this and they're like, oh, I want the nostalgia, and oh, also I want my kid to like grow up with The Lion King, and it's gonna be so magical, and how they have the live action, and so of course they're gonna go fucking see it. But it was just so fucking disappointing the way that they fucking did it. Like, either do what you did with The Jungle Book and like tell it completely different. Like, they did not do a shot for shot remake of The Jungle Book. They had some of the same elements in there, but like, I think they kind of had a really unique spin on it, and it was fucking dope, and they did it really well. And The Lion King, they just fell fucking short on that. Oh man, and there was this so when young Simba was like singing something, the actor went off and did like this fucking riff, and me and my boyfriend both like cringed and was just like, like, that was unnecessary. Like, I understand, you're the new Simba and you want to make sure that you do it well or whatever, and so you want to put your own like little twist on it, but that's unnecessary. Like, just do the songs the way that they're meant to be sung. Don't add any fancy fucking to them, because it just made me cringe inside so fucking hard. It's like when people just sing the national anthem and everybody wants to do tons of crazy different things to, like, just sing the national anthem regularly. I don't need for you to drag out the Rockets' Red Glare, that fucking note, for like 10 minutes, and you like go on all sorts of like, the Rockets' Red Glare, shit like that. Like, that's what I felt like that fucking kid actor did. And I don't want to be mean because he's a child, but whoever was directing him should have given him a little bit more direction and, made it sound better, or gone with somebody else. I think the selection for the actors should have been better, because they nailed it with some, like Gambino, Seth Rogen, and the guy who played Timon. Those were fucking perfect. I liked Sarabi's voice. She sounded fine. I didn't like Scar's voice. Yeah. And they took away some of the fucking most awesome songs. Like Scar's Be Prepared song, they condensed it to like 15 fucking seconds, and that was one of my favorite songs in the goddamn original. Was Scar's Be Prepared song, and all the hyenas and the cool green lights and shit like going everywhere. They took away Rafiki's fucking Hanna Sanna Squash Banana, whatever the fuck he was saying. It was just, I don't know. I didn't like the way it was fucking done. And yeah, I'm not a movie critic, but I just needed to discuss my feelings on this fucking movie because I was displeased with it. Oh yeah? Do you want this? Is this what you want? Oh my. Go get it. Okay. Alright, well my puppy's a little bit fucking hyper. Those are my thoughts on The Lion King. I was so fucking disappointed with it. And I'm sorry I don't have like super specific examples and I'm kind of a little bit vague. My memory is terrible at like shit like that, but I know that I was dissatisfied deeply with the movie. And yeah, stay tuned. Next week, my video next week is going to be my updated foundation routine for oily skin to make it last all day and look flawless. That's what this face is right here. So stay tuned for that next week. And okay, I love you, see you later. Bye. And like she. What the fuck, bro? You asshole. He just, my phone is plugged in. He just tripped over the fucking cord. You dickhead. You need to calm down. Relax. 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 Anyways.